Ever feel like you're at a crossroads,
Right.
staring down those pesky, like, inner demons?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're going deep, diving deep, I should say, into a story all about transformation. You know, that messy, exhilarating journey of facing those inner shadows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get this, we're exploring this fictional narrative called Amazing Durga Devi that follows these, like, 6 very different people,
Mm-hmm.
all grappling with, their own personal trials and tribulations.
Well, what I find so captivating about the story is how it like seamlessly blends this ancient wisdom with like futuristic technology.
Right.
It's incredible to really explore this universal human experience of facing challenges and seeking, that deep transformation.
It's wild. We're talking Ravi, who's, battling these career setbacks. And then there's Mira, Mira reeling from this brutal business failure and betrayal. Ouch.
Yeah.
Then we have Neha. She's a single mom wrestling with, the ever-present self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Ajay, who's stuck in that ambition-disillusionment loop.
Oh, I know that loop.
Right. Lena's buried under student debt and, just the weight of everyone's expectations.
That's a lot.
It is. It is. And last but certainly not least, we have Dev. Dev's a former social media star, and he is just craving redemption. Maybe even a little peace and quiet,
Yeah. What's fascinating is how each character, they embody a different, like, facet of the human experience.
Right.
They show us these different ways that we as humans grapple with adversity and how we ultimately seek meaning in the midst of all that.
And their journey, well, it begins in a way I think a lot of us can relate to. A sudden, jarring event that throws their lives into utter disarray.
Oh, you mean like a citywide blackout?
Exactly. Talk about a rude awakening, huh?
Yeah, but this isn't just any blackout. It's like a catalyst, this stripping away of everything familiar, forcing these characters, forcing them to confront, what they've been hiding, maybe even from themselves.
Ooh, that's deep.
It's a classic liminal space.
Ooh, I love that term.
Right. It's disorienting, this in-between time, but it's often unexpectedly fertile ground for growth. And it's in this unexpected darkness that they encounter, well, let's just call her a mysterious figure named Vidya.
Okay, mysterious figure at a Durga Devi temple during a blackout. My interest is officially piqued.
And Vidya, who's described as having this powerful, almost ethereal presence, she issues them a warning.
Uh-oh.
She says, the darkness you face is not merely a force. It is the manifestation of everything you have buried. You must confront it or it will consume you.
Chills. Literal chills.
Right. Talk about a call to action. She's reframing the challenge. It's not some external enemy. It's a confrontation with our own internal shadow.
Okay, way scarier.
Right? And those shadows, they don't play nice. Because the story takes a turn as each character comes face to face with, well, a terrifying manifestation of their deepest fear. This is where the narrative truly resonates, I think. I mean, who hasn't felt haunted by that self-doubt, by those perceived failures, These encounters, they're vivid reminders that our greatest battles, they're often fought within.
Ugh, so true. So, walk me through some of these encounters.
Okay, so Ravi, he encounters his own feelings of inadequacy. That nagging voice that just keeps telling him he's not good enough. Imagine the weight of that coming to life.
Oof, heavy.
And then Mira, she's hit with accusations of cowardice, of always playing it safe. And that fear, the fear of vulnerability and taking risks, it can be paralyzing.
Absolutely.
And then there's Neha, a single mom. Her terror, it stems from this primal fear, the fear of failing her son. And I think it's a fear many parents carry, that image of your child's well-being resting solely on your shoulders.
It's a heavy burden to carry, for
Yeah.
sure. What about Ajay?
Ajay's demon, it taunts him with, the hollowness of his ambition. You see the struggle of someone so driven by external validation, always seeking more, but never truly finding fulfillment.
It's like chasing a mirage.
Exactly. Lena's encounter, it throws her right into that feeling of being trapped. Trapped by circumstances, by debt, like drowning, with no way out.
Ugh, it's the worst.
And finally, we have Dev. He's confronted by the consequences of his past mistakes. The weight of disappointing the people closest to him. It's that reckoning, I think, many of us fear.
Yeah, it's a lot to process. But thankfully, Vidya, she doesn't just, abandon them to these demons, right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Give me some good news.
She guides them to the secret ashram nestled within the park. It's like a sanctuary from the storm. And, well, more importantly, from that unsettling presence that seems to be closing in on them.
Ooh, ominous. I like it. So this ashram, it's not just a hiding place, though, right?
Right. It's another liminal space, a place of transition, of preparation for, let's say, deeper work. The story describes it as peaceful, almost timeless, a stark contrast to all the chaos they've just experienced.
Talk about a refuge. They go from a city swallowed by darkness, hunted by their worst fears, to this haven of tranquility, filled with, what is it, ancient architecture, luminous murals, intricate mandalas. I think even I could meditate there.
It really highlights the importance of creating those spaces for introspection, for self-discovery, and not just in, some far-off ashram, but in our own lives. We all need those places where we can disconnect from the outside world and reconnect with ourselves.
I hear that. So it's within this serene setting that Vidya introduces them to Durga's game. What is Durga's game?
It's described as like a simulated spiritual journey. It uses, get this, advanced technology, immersive pods, holographic projections to help them confront those demons head on. This is where the story's blend of ancient mythology and futuristic technology truly shines.
High-tech solutions for age-old problems. I love it. So Durga's game, it's not just some random obstacle course, right?
No. It's structured. Vidya designed it to guide them through what she calls the three realms of the self: the parent, the adult, and the child. It's like this layered confrontation with their inner demons.
Talk about intense self-work. So they're just cool with this. I mean, they've just had these terrifying encounters with their deepest fears made flesh. And now they're being asked to willingly enter these pods, knowing they'll have to relive those experiences. I think I'd be running for the hills.
And that hesitation, that fear, it's completely understandable. This narrative, it isn't about denying fear, but about cultivating the courage to move forward despite it. Transformation, it requires us to face what we'd rather avoid.
Which, let's be real, is way easier said than done. But Vidya, in her infinite wisdom, she anticipates their hesitation. She doesn't just tell them to buck up, does she?
No. Instead, she gives each of them a talisman.
Ooh, like a good luck charm.
In a way, but it's more than that. It's a symbol of Durga.
Okay, so we're talking about serious symbolism here.
Absolutely. It's a powerful gesture. Durga's strength, it's not just about, battling demons. It's about protection, about nurturing. These talismans, they serve as anchors, connecting them to this legacy of courage and resilience.
It's like she's giving them a tangible reminder that they're not alone in this, that there's a source of strength they can tap into.
Exactly. And these aren't generic trinkets either. They're personalized. Each talisman reflects a specific aspect of Durga's power that resonates with their individual challenge.
Okay, now this is cool. So what do they get?
Well, Ravi, for instance, he receives a serpent-etched sword.
Badass.
It symbolizes courage. And the shedding of old patterns, like a snake shedding its skin, it's a potent symbol of transformation.
Love it. What about Mira?
Mira receives a lotus, a symbol of resilience.
Yeah.
The ability to rise above difficult circumstances. It's a beautiful reminder that even in, murky waters, beauty and strength can still bloom.
Okay, I need to get myself a lotus. What about Neha?
Neha is given a shield. But it's not just any shield. It's emblazoned with flames.
Yeah.
It's a powerful image of protection, of inner strength, like a mother shielding her child, It represents that fierce, unwavering love and determination.
Wow, these are amazing. Each talisman really is a testament to the multifaceted nature of strength,
Precisely. And a reminder that there are many paths to accessing those inner resources.
So talismans in hand, they enter the pods.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine stepping into the unknown to confront your deepest fears? But it's not like some terrifying horror show, right?
No, it's described as a high-tech experience, almost like a waking dream.
Okay, now that is something I could get behind. What are the pods like?
The pods themselves are fascinating. They're described as providing not only a virtual experience, but also like physical sustenance, almost like a womb, nourishing, protecting. It's a symbolic representation of the transformative process, a kind of rebirth.
Talk about a deep dive, right? And what's really remarkable is that each character's experience within the pod, it's unique, tailored to their specific demon.
Which highlights the deeply personal nature of transformation, right? We all face challenges, but the way we experience and address them, it's unique to us. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
So true. So walk me through each of their experiences. What do they encounter in these pods? Take Ravi, for example.
Okay, so Ravi, he finds himself on an ancient battlefield, and he comes face to face with the monstrous buffalo demon Mahishasura.
No. From the myth.
The one and only. Talk about a symbol of overwhelming fear and self-doubt. But notice the connection to his talisman, the serpent-etched sword. It represents the courage to confront that fear head-on.
I love how the story does that. What about Mira? What does she encounter?
Mira, she becomes the ruler of this crumbling kingdom, and she's tasked with rebuilding from the ground up. It's a pretty clear metaphor, wouldn't you say, for what she needs to do in her own life after her business failure.
100%. She needs to reclaim her power,
Ah.
take control and create something new. And that ties in beautifully with her talisman, the lotus, which represents rising above challenges. This is amazing. Okay, what about Neha? Where does she end up?
Neha, she's thrust into this vibrant, dangerous forest, and she's desperately searching for a cure. The imagery is so vivid in the story, it sounds terrifying and exhilarating, all at the same time.
Ooh, I'm on the edge of my seat. The forest, it's like classic symbolism, right? For the unknown, the subconscious.
Exactly. And it becomes the terrain she has to navigate, not just in the virtual world, but also within herself, to find healing, to heal that self-doubt.
Yeah.
And remember her talisman, the shield. It represents the protection she needs to face those fears.
This is incredible. Okay, Ajay's turn. What does his journey look like?
Ajay. Oh, he finds himself trapped in a corporate labyrinth, a maze of dead ends and false promises. Talk about a nightmare come true for someone so driven by external validation, right?
I can't even imagine. But it's such a powerful visual,
Yeah.
It represents that world he's been grappling with, the corporate world. And his talisman, that spiraling conch shell, it becomes like a guide for him, symbolizing the inward journey, the awakening of inner wisdom. Each of these is just, wow. Okay, what about Lena?
Lena's experience, it's intriguing. She finds herself in this ancient library, surrounded by all this forgotten knowledge.
So she's looking for answers, maybe, in the past.
Yeah.
As someone burdened by debt, it makes sense in a way, doesn't it?
Precisely. Her journey, it emphasizes the importance of knowledge, of understanding. The library becomes a metaphor for the vast storehouse of wisdom that she needs to access to navigate her challenges. And don't forget that tiger talisman.
Oh, right, a symbol of fierce determination.
Exactly. The determination she needs to unearth that knowledge and apply it to her situation.
Okay, last but not least, Dev. Where does his journey take him?
Dev, our former social media star, he finds himself in this seemingly perfect futuristic city.
Ooh, but like any good story, there's got to be more than meets the eye, right?
You know it. His journey highlights the dangers of superficiality, the importance of confronting the consequences of our actions. This city, a symbol of artificiality and illusion, it represents the world that he's been trapped in.
And his talisman, that trident, it takes on a whole new meaning here, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It symbolizes the power to pierce through those illusions, to confront the truth, which is exactly what Dev needs to do.
So we have our 6 characters, each facing a personalized challenge, guided by these amazing talismans and immersed in this incredibly realistic virtual world. It's like they're living out their fears and working through them at the same time. This is intense. But remember, this is just the first stage of Durga's game.
They've only just begun to scratch the surface of their inner landscapes. There's so much more to uncover, more challenges to face, more growth to experience.
So they've gone through the looking glass. They're in the pods, right? They're in the thick of it. What happens next in this Durga's game?
Well, it's not a cakewalk, that's for sure. Each character, you see, they have to navigate these different realms, these different aspects of the self. Remember, Vidya talked about the parent, the adult, the child.
Right. So they're going deeper, facing new layers of, well, themselves.
Exactly. And as they journey through these realms, they're confronted by trials, challenges specifically designed to expose their vulnerabilities, those deeply ingrained patterns of thought and behavior they've been clinging to.
Ooh, that sounds intense. So, give us an example. What kind of trials are we talking about?
Okay, so take Robbie. Remember, he's battling this deep-seated sense of inadequacy, right?
Yeah, the whole not good enough demon.
Right. Well, in the realm of the parent, he's confronted by these shadowy figures who embody all the critical voices he's internalized over the years. It's like his parents, his teachers, even those old childhood bullies, they all come back to haunt him.
Talk about facing your demons. How does he even begin to deal with that?
Well, that's where the talisman comes into play. Remember that serpent-etched sword?
Oh, yeah. The shedding of old patterns.
Exactly. It becomes a symbol of his own inner strength, his ability to cut through those negative, limiting beliefs that have been holding him back.
Okay, but knowing you have the strength and actually using it are two different things, right? How does he bridge that gap?
Through action. In the story, he's called upon to defend himself, to literally fight back against those shadowy figures. But it's not just about physical strength. It's about finding his voice, speaking his truth, and refusing to be defined by those external voices any longer.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. So he's literally fighting for his right to believe in himself.
Huh.
What about Mira? How does her journey unfold in this realm?
Mira's challenge, it centers around control. You see, she's always believed that if she could just control every aspect of her life, her business, her relationships, she could avoid pain, avoid failure. But then, well, her world came crashing down.
Yeah, that business deal gone wrong. That's rough.
And it completely shattered her illusion of control. So in the realm of the parent, she's presented with a series of impossible choices, each one forcing her to confront her fear of making the wrong decision, the fear of being vulnerable, of not having all the answers.
So it's like a lose-lose situation no matter what she does.
In a way, yes, but it's designed to help her realize that true strength isn't about control. It's about surrender, about learning to trust her intuition, her own inner wisdom, and letting go of the need to micromanage every aspect of her life.
That's a tough lesson,
Yeah.
but a valuable one. And her talisman, the lotus, it must play a role here. Right.
Absolutely. It becomes a symbol of her own resilience, her ability to rise above those challenges, even when she feels like she's drowning in doubt. She comes to understand that just like the lotus, she too can bloom in the muddiest of waters.
Okay, this is amazing. We're seeing how these characters are tackling their deepest fears head on. And it's all thanks to this incredible blend of ancient wisdom and, like, cutting-edge technology.
It's a powerful reminder that we have the tools within us and around us to embark on our own journeys of transformation.
So we've journeyed with these characters through the realms of the parent, faced down some serious shadows. What happens when they enter the realm of the child, that inner child that we all carry within us, right?
This is where things get really interesting. You see, the child, it represents our most authentic, most vulnerable selves. But it also holds the keys to our creativity, our joy, our capacity for, well, for pure, unadulterated fun.
Okay, so less about battling demons, more about reconnecting with that sense of wonder and playfulness.
Precisely. But of course, it's not always that simple. Our inner child often carries wounds from the past, unmet needs, unexpressed emotions that can hold us back from fully embracing our potential.
So there are still challenges to face in this realm, just different kind of challenges.
Exactly. And each character's experience in the realm of the child, well, it reflects their unique journey, their unique set of wounds and triumphs.
Okay, I'm hooked. Give me some examples.
Right.
What about Ravi? How does he handle this playful, yet potentially triggering realm?
Well, Ravi, he's always struggled to embrace his creativity. He sees it as frivolous, unproductive, a distraction from real work. So in the realm of the child, he's thrown into this vibrant, chaotic world where imagination reigns supreme.
Ooh, and how does Mr. Sirius handle that?
Not well at first. He resists, tries to impose order and logic onto this world of pure imagination. But the more he resists, the more frustrated he becomes.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It is, until he remembers his talisman. That serpent-etched sword, it takes on a new meaning here. It becomes a tool not for battling external enemies, but for dismantling the rigid structures he's built around his own heart.
It's about letting go, isn't it?
Yeah.
Embracing the unknown.
Yes. And as he begins to let go, to allow himself to play, to create without judgment, something remarkable happens. He reconnects with a part of himself he'd long forgotten.
The part that remembers how to dream, how to find joy in the simple act of creation. I love that. What about Mira? What does her journey in the realm of the child look like?
Mira's challenge in this realm centers around trust. You see, after her business partner betrayed her, she built walls around her heart.
Understandable.
Right. So in the realm of the child, she encounters a group of, well, let's call them whimsical beings who embody pure, unconditional love and acceptance.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
It is, but it also terrifies her. She's so used to guarding her heart, so afraid of being hurt again, that she pushes these beings away.
She's not ready to let anyone in, even if they come bearing gifts of love and acceptance.
It's a common response to pain, to betrayal. But her talisman, the lotus, it serves as a gentle reminder that she is worthy of love, that vulnerability is not weakness, but a strength.
I'm sensing a breakthrough. Does she finally let them in?
She does. It's a gradual process, of course, but as she allows herself to be vulnerable, to trust these beings, she begins to heal. She rediscovers the joy of connection, the beauty of letting others into her heart.
Oh, my heart. Okay, this is amazing, but we're running out of time. Can you quickly walk us through the remaining characters' experiences in the realm of the child?
Absolutely. So, Neha, for her, it's about reclaiming her voice. She's spent so much of her life silencing her own needs, putting everyone else first. And in this realm, she has to learn to speak her truth, to set boundaries, and to honor her own desires.
That's so important, especially for mothers who often put themselves last.
Exactly. And her talisman, that shield with the flames, it represents her newfound strength, her ability to protect her own energy and to say no without guilt.
Love it. What about a Jay?
Ajay's challenge is all about letting go of the need for external validation. He's so used to measuring his worth by his accomplishments, by how others perceive him. But in the realm of the child, none of that matters. It's all about pure, unadulterated joy in the present moment.
So, a crash course in mindfulness,
Yeah.
essentially.
You could say that. And his talisman, that spiraling conch shell, it guides him inward, helping him to connect with his own inner compass, his own sense of self-worth that's not dependent on external validation.
Each of these journeys is so powerful. What about Lena and Dev?
Lena's experience is about finding freedom from the weight of expectations, both her own and those of others. She learns to embrace her own path, even if it looks different from what she thought it should be. And Dev, his journey in the realm of the child, it's about forgiveness, about forgiving himself for his past mistakes. He comes to realize that true redemption isn't about punishment, but about grace and self-compassion.
Wow. So they've faced their shadows, they've navigated the realms of the parent, the adult, and the child. What happens next?
The story ends with them emerging from the pods, transformed. Not in some magical overnight way, but forever changed by their experiences. They've confronted their deepest fears, they've reconnected with their authentic selves, and they've learned to access the strength that lies within.
So they're ready to face whatever life throws at them, armed with newfound wisdom and a deeper understanding of themselves.
Exactly. And the story, it leaves us with this powerful message that transformation is possible for all of us, that within each of us lies the potential to overcome our challenges, to heal our wounds, and to create a life that's both meaningful and fulfilling.
That's a message we can all get behind. This has been an incredible deep dive into Amazing Durga Devi, a story that's both timely and timeless, exploring the universal human experience of transformation. And as we wrap up this episode, we're left with this question. What inner demons are you ready to confront? What step, however small, can you take today to move towards a more authentic, courageous you?